everybody. Welcome to The Hydrant. With me this week is Jim Seybert. Anything can happen, so just be prepared for just about anything.
This is a trigger warning. Trigger warning.
Jim is an Earphones award-winning audiobook narrator with more than 100 titles to his credit. You'll see the serious voice with a twinkle in his eye. We'll discuss that. He's recorded books for major publishers, small houses, independent authors, across the board, historical fiction, everything. He's done it. He, like me, is an APA ambassador, and he, unlike me, is a member of SAG-AFTRA. He's been telling, and I love this story, he's been telling stories for more than 60 years. Now, picture this. As a young boy, he would dictate to his parents and say, hey, he would tell them a story and say, hey, write this down.
So, I'd hand him a pencil. Write this down.
That's brilliant. That's
bossy,
brilliant.
Precocious.
And some things haven't changed. So.
No.
God. He's a 2-time Sovus Award nominee. And if you go and search on Goodreads and bring his name up, he's listed as the author of Think and Grow Rich, which came to be such a success for Napoleon Hill later on. So,
I didn't know that.
Well, Goodreads is set up that way, is that the author and the narrator on the same line. When you do a search through it, the narrator shows up as author, and it's just like
wow. I need to talk to somebody about royalties.
Right.
Holy cow.
I thought, boy, Napoleon Hill's probably spinning in his grave on this one.
So what it is, it's rip off the author and get rich, not think and get rich. Yeah.
So anyway, welcome to the show. Glad to
Thank
have
you.
you here.
Yeah. Glad to be here.
I have to say that one of the things that had me laughing for hours was when I stumbled across the video of you and Johnny Heller doing the International Stone Skipping Championships.
You bet. The voice of stone skipping. Here we are.
And I'm listening to this going, these guys can't be serious. They've got to be looking at each other going, this is the craziest thing we've ever done. And I'm watching this, and they're getting serious about these guys skipping rocks across the water. How did that come about?
We have a friend, a mutual friend, whose husband produces Go Live Sportscast. And she was looking for someone to do this. It was on Ocho. ESPN does this one Saturday a year. They do these bizarre sporting events, whatever. And a friend of mine, I'm not going to name names because I might get them wrong. But a friend of mine suggested to this producer, hey, you should use Jim, and they also knew Johnny. So between the two of us, we decided that I would be the straight man, and Johnny would be, Johnny would provide the humor, the color commentator, and it was, and it was crazy because the guy that won looked like I think his name was Mountain Man or Mountain Bob or something like that. He skipped the damn rock 40-something times across the water.
That's the guy you have in the clip in the video. He doing that one that just kept going and going and going.
And the world record is 88 skips. 88. Now they didn't get that high in the one that we did, but wow. Yeah. So that is that's my claim to fame there. I am officially known as the voice of stone skipping on ESPN Ocho.
88 skips. And he has this interesting wind up there. It almost reminds me of a Statue of Liberty type step. Whoa, look at that.
That's a big first toss. Nice chuck. You don't often say that unless the guy's name is Chuck.
Well, that one he got 42 skips.
That's a big number. That can be intimidating to the guys that haven't thrown yet. Get a nice 40 is a rare thing, Jim.
So was there somebody's like standing in the water counting all the skips? Because you get down to the end there and it's tough to count those.
In some of the B-roll, we watched a lot of video. In some of the B-roll, one of the contestants said, "Yeah, they're never 100% accurate, but they get close enough." So, I thought, okay, they're going to video this thing, they're going to play it back and put it into slow motion and count, but they don't. The results come really fast. They throw and boom, there's the results. And it's like, well, okay. And some are obvious. I mean, 3 skips and in the water.
Right.
But when you get down to this, that right at the end, I'll give you a little official history here. Right at the end, those are called plinkers.
Right. I
Right?
heard that term used.
Those are plinkers. Yeah. So we're waiting for another one to come up. They also do belt sander races. Johnny has done mullet. There is a mullet competition, the hair thing.
Right.
I didn't get to do that one. Johnny and Sean Pratt did
Oh my God.
I think they may have done the belt sanders, Johnny and Sean Pratt. And the thing with Pratt, I was going to do that one, but then I was on a cruise, and so I couldn't do it. So they picked Pratt. Throw the poor guy a bone.
Well, you get those two together and forget it. It's over.
Well, and then the difference in the cameras, you have to have, one guy either has to sit in a hole in the ground or the other guy has to stand on a box.
Well, Johnny hates me now because at Mavo, which we both attended this year, someone wanted to take a picture of us. We were just sitting around talking.
Oh, he doesn't allow that.
Johnny stood up on a chair to stand next to me. And I'm like, that's not fair, because people are going to go, I didn't know Cooper was that short. And he's like, you're a dick. So the fact that Heller was doing that. And I've had him on this show and he didn't say a word about it. So I'm going to have to give him grief about that.
Yeah, you should.
That's
give him grief
funny.
About everything you can.
At any chance I get. Absolutely.
You betcha.
So let's talk about radio a little bit, because we both kind of have the same kind of background of doing that. You were in Maryland in what, the 70s?
I started in radio. People look at me when I tell this story and they look at me with incredulity. I started at KISS Radio in Los Angeles.
Wow.
Now, the interesting thing is that back then in early 70s, KISS, K-I-I-S, was not the FM powerhouse that it became with, what's his name, Ryan Seacrest and those folks. It was a low watt AM station at 1150 up on the AM dial. And it did personality radio. It had a guy named Jerry Bishop that was the morning guy. And they did personality radio. Which doesn't really exist anymore. It's, where the disc jockey actually did bits and talked.
Right.
I guess you would, it was a clean version of, who's the big shock jock right now? What the hell?
Stern and Imus.
Yeah, Stern. Yeah, Stern. And actually it was Imus it was kind of family oriented Imus is what it was. So I was a security guard. Had always wanted to get into radio. Late at night, I heard that KISS AM was going to have this broadcasting workshop. And so I went up and auditioned up on Sunset Boulevard. They were in the first 2 floors of the Playboy building on Sunset Boulevard. I'm getting choked up just thinking about it. And I auditioned. I got the gig. So I was on, after going through school, I was on from 2 in the morning until like 4 in the morning or something like that.
Wow.
Which is the unrated, so I didn't screw up their ratings. And then went on and I worked in Wyoming. I worked in Maryland. I came back out here to California. So I'm, like Johnny Fever, I moved up and down the dial. Yeah.
All right. Let me ask you some of these goofy questions and we'll see where this goes. And it could be frightening, but we'll run with it.
I'll do my best.
What breed of dog would you be?
One of those big, lazy, hound. like
The
with the
bloodhound.
big floppy ears,
Yeah.
the bloodhound that just sits there, a blue tick hound sits around going, "Roar!" That would be the life.
Yeah.
That would be the life. Scratch
What's
my
your
belly and yeah, I'm good.
What's your favorite curse word?
Fuck. Because it's easy. I'm lazy. It can be used in so many, so many applications.
Can have a whole conversation with it.
You can,
Yeah.
fuck this and you're fucked and fuck, fuck, fuck.
If you were an ice cream flavor, what would you be?
I have thought about this and I'm going to say pistachio.
Ooh.
And the reason for pistachio, for a number of reasons, it's one of those it's unique, it's odd, it's not normal. It's green and it has little nuts in it. Most people haven't sampled it, but when they do, they like it. They
Right.
go, ooh, I'd like to have this. You can't find it everywhere, but when you do, you really want it. And that's that's me.
Who
And
would play
plus,
you?
you get the word piss. You get the word piss. Pistachio. Pistachio. Right.
To each his own.
Hey, you asked me to be on the show.
After you pleaded with me to be on the show.
Well, I had to be. This is it. I can retire after this. What were you going to ask? Who's going to play me in a movie? Is that where you were going?
Yeah, you know all the questions. Why do I have to ask you?
No,
You
I
can
don't.
do
I
this
don't know
solo.
all the questions, but I anticipate it. Very anticipatory. Dustin Hoffman, maybe. Who's the guy that did Mr. Holland's Opus? Who was
Richard Dreyfuss.
Dreyfuss? Probably Dreyfuss. And if I could pick a TV character, Johnny Galecki, the guy that's Dr. Hofstadter on the Big Bang Theory.
Which plays for 2 hours a night in my house.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So it's just like, okay, I know exactly what
betcha.
you're talking about.
Yeah.
So, what's the weirdest thing you've tried food-wise?
Gooey duck, which is like a gigantic, big, slimy clam. It's huge. It looks like a donkey pestule. In Wyoming, when I was between gigs, I worked as a cook in a restaurant, and we had Rocky Mountain oysters.
Mm-hmm.
When I don't ate them, I prepared them. They would bring in a large bucket of oysters, and they're quite large.
Right.
And you would skin them because there's a very tough rubbery skin on them.
God, that
You would
hurts just
drain them, and you can kind of figure out what that is. And then with a very sharp knife, you would slice them into about 1/4 inch sections, and then, like an abalone, pound the living daylights out of them until they were really tender. All the while thinking, oh my God, these are balls. I am slicing and pounding on balls. And it's viscerally painful.
Yes.
To be doing that.
But
then the cool thing is you dip them in batter, deep fry them, and eat them while drinking beer. And so that's okay. I don't think balls have it. Well, at least these don't have a taste. I'm ready for the next one.
What song should play every time you walk into a room?
I'll get serious. Imagine, John Lennon's Imagine.
Okay.
The Beatles' Let It Be. Either one of those two. Desperado from the Eagles.
All the serious stuff.
Kind of ballady. So music is important.
If animals could talk, which one would be the rudest?
Blue Jays.
Mm.
Blue Jays. Or crows. We've got a lot of crows around here. I've got some crows. I have a Chihuahua. Weighs about 6.5 pounds. And we have crows in our yard that are bigger than the Chihuahua. So crows, Blue Jays.
Hopefully you don't have eagles, because they come down and take squirrels and just fly away with them.
They do. Owls will do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
She doesn't go outside except to pee
Okay.
most of the time.
I
Sometimes she doesn't
wouldn't
go
blame her.
outside to pee.
I wouldn't blame her.
Yeah.
All right, let's do the either or thing. I'll give you two things. You tell me what your preference is here.
Oh, all right.
Summer or winter?
Winter.
Book or Kindle?
Ooh. Audio. Um,
I've had that answer. Someone said
Prob-
neither. Audiobook.
yeah, and I don't say that because that's what I do. I just prefer to listen. I'm an oral listener, but if I had to pick between the two of those, book.
Eggs, omelet or scrambled?
Scrambled.
Toilet paper, over or under?
I just leave mine on the counter. Just sitting there. You know, it's just because where else do you buy toilet paper but Costco? It's the only place anybody buys toilet paper anymore. And they recently, I don't know, a year or two, whatever, some time ago, they started making their rolls bigger. They're bigger around, more circumference or diameter or whatever. And they don't fit on the little holder
In the older holders,
in my toilet room. So I have to use about a half an inch of it before it slips on there. And by that time, it's like, well, just leave it sitting there. You know.
I was actually in a bathroom not too long ago where the holder was actually vertical.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, well, that kind of solves that problem
Yeah,
then.
over, under. Now, if you're in a hotel, you want it to come from the front because then they fold it into the little triangle and put the little thing on
Right.
it.
And isn't that nice of them
Yeah.
to do that?
Yeah, you're going to rub shit on this. Let's make it look pretty.
Let's make it look
You know.
nice.
Excuse me.
Texting or calling?
Text. Yeah, text. Because then I get to control the situation. If you call me, I've got to pick up the phone. I have to talk to you. If you text me, I can deal with it on my time.
Right.
But there are times when I recently I was negotiating a performance contract and it was going back and forth and back and forth. It's like, finally, just fuck this. Let's just talk. We got it over in 3 or 4 minute phone call. Boom.
Right.
It was done. You know.
Right. Passenger or driver?
The driver. Definitely the driver.
Yeah. Reese's Cup or Milky Way?
Probably Reese's. Milk. I don't care for Milky Way at all. So probably Reese's.
Ugh.
I'm more of a payday guy. Peanuts.
Oh, with all of
Gotta
the
have
junk and okay.
Yeah, I gotta have the
Gotcha.
crunchy peanuts.
The $100,000 bar and that kind of stuff. Okay.
There we are.
Yeah. Okay. Would you rather have telekinesis, the ability to move things with your mind, or telepathy, the ability to read everybody's mind?
Oh God. Yeah, I don't want to read people's minds. As a performer, I have the lowest self-esteem of anybody on the planet, imposter syndrome. And if I could read their minds, then I would know that they thought I was shit. And I couldn't deal with that. So being able to move things, and it goes back to the blue tick hound thing of being lazy, being able to move things without any physical exertion. Oh, yes, baby.
Give me two. Give me more of those. Would you rather live in a haunted castle or an abandoned train station?
Haunted castle, abandoned train station. Which has the best toilet facilities? I'm thinking the train station. I don't know why. Just the haunted castle sounds wet. It sounds cold.
And it's lots of stories. You got to run up and down the stairs.
Yeah, echoey and all
probably,
that stuff. Besides, if it's haunted, there's ghosts, and they're going to interrupt me while I'm trying to sleep. And yeah.
Would you rather have all traffic lights you approach be green or never have to stand in line again?
Yeah, that is the question of the age. I don't know. I don't, the traffic lights, if every traffic light turned green, I'd never have a chance to stop and look at my phone, look at my, check my messages, that type of thing. So I guess I'll go with I don't want all green lights. I want occasional
Okay.
red lights so I can pick up the phone and see who's been after me.
So you never have to stand in line again. Okay.
How's that?
Okay, that works. That works. Would you rather be able to breathe underwater or be able to fly?
I occasionally have dreams about being able to fly.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm naked. There's an image. What
Go
the
ahead,
hell
folks.
is that,
Try to unsee that.
What is that, Mabel? And I don't know how, I'm scared to death of water. I don't know how to swim. And so that would be a practical thing. The ability to breathe underwater would be would help me
It's got you so upset you can't talk anymore.
I can't.
Would you rather have whatever you are thinking appear in a bubble above your head for everyone to read?
No, I don't care what the other choice is. No fucking.
You don't even want to know what you're
What's the other choice?
For?
But no.
Have absolutely everything you do be live streamed for everyone to see.
Still, the thought bubbles, no, the thought bubbles. I can control, we were talking about being on the radio. I can control my actions pretty well. And, being an actor, I'm trained to hide emotions and that. But what I'm thinking, no, we don't want that. We don't want that.
Okay.
Fine. I'd be dead. I'd be in jail. Whatever.
Someone came to you and say, okay, how do I get into this audiobook gig if I'm really serious about it? What's the first thing you would tell them to do?
Find something else. Find a different profession. There are too many newbies trying to take the job from old dogs like us. No, I as an ambassador, as you are too with APA, you get to talk to, folks that maybe not new to entertainment, but new to audiobooks. And it's fun to talk to them and they're, and to be encouraging. And I talked to one just today who said, wow, this is really a cool, community of people. In truth, I have 3 links that I send them. I send them Sean Pratt's So You Want to Be a Narrator video. I send them to the information pages on ACX. And then I send them to Karen's narrator roadmap link. I send those 3.
Oh,
and
I
I preface that. I say, I am not blowing you off. These are 3 links that I send everyone who's curious. Look at these and get back to me if you're still curious. In 6 years, I've had less than half a dozen people get back to me.
Right.
I've had dozens that I've sent that to. And I don't know what it is. I don't know if they look at
perception versus reality.
Well, yeah, anybody can. I read to my kids, or they've always been told they have a great voice. I mean, that was my deal. Wow, you've got such a great voice. You should do these books. And then I had to relearn how to use the voice. And I'm still learning, constantly. Right. But those 3 links. I would say, hey, great. It's worth looking at. You don't have to do it full time. You can do it part time. You can do a couple of books a year. On the ACX, the royalty share. If you're not trying to make a living at it, have fun. Have fun at it. It's a little different if you're trying to pay a mortgage.
It's a different ballgame. And I do a abbreviated version of that when people ask me. I give them the Sean Pratt test and say, go in a closet with a chair, shut the door, read out loud to yourself 3 hours a day for 5 days. If you're still interested, come back and we'll talk some more.
Yeah. How many come back? Not many.
None.
Yeah.
I haven't had anybody come back and say, because they look at you like, oh. I was like, yeah, people told me you have no wonder you're in voiceover. You have a great voice. I was like, it doesn't mean shit. It doesn't mean Gilbert Gottfried did voiceovers. Come on. Having a great voice doesn't mean anything.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly.
No, that's great. So, hey, thank you for doing this.
You're welcome.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, it was fun.
It was fun.
I've been looking forward to this. You've got it. This style is unique, and it's fun, and
wise-assery.
Wise-assery. There we are. Dumb fuckery, wise-assery. Now I feel sorry for you having to edit this.
I actually enjoy doing it because I get to go back and really relive it again, and it's that's part of the fun to me. One of these days, I'll probably have someone else do it, but right now I'm having too much fun doing it on my own. So, if you want to learn more about this crazy man, go to jimseybert.com, and it's SEYBERT.com. And you can see all that he's done, and you can watch that amazing video with him and Johnny Heller and the stone skipping thing, because that just, I'm probably going to watch that daily for the rest of my life, because it's so amazing to me. So, but thank you, Jim, again for doing this. Thank you for watching and listening, and we'll see you again next time on The Hydrant.